Hey, welcome back to the Movement Network with Bart, and today we're going to talk about Lopez versus what's his name? Kambosos. I don't want to butcher his name. Today we're going to talk about Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos, and it's an interesting thing that took place within the last 24 hours where you have this, I won't call them a boxing promotional company, but they are a promotional company, Thriller that outweighed and outbidded Top Rank and Matchroom Boxing, Eddie Hearns, or The Zone, whatever you want to call it. They kind of all together. And I want to talk about Top Rank, which is Bob Arum, reaction towards the fact that Thriller won the bid. And I also want to talk about Bob Arum reaction towards Eddie Hearns making a bid towards this fight. And then I want to talk about, how the fight is going to go. So let's get started. The first thing is we need to know who is Ryan Kavanaugh. Ryan Kavanaugh is the owner, or he has the lion's share of Thriller, right? Because you do know that, I don't know if you know, but Snoop Dogg is heavily invested in Thriller. He's one of the announcers. He does, and he's an investor. Definitely, he is. So, Ryan Kavanaugh is a movie producer. He's had a lot of great movies. Not, I won't say great, but decent movies. Off the top of my head, I know he has The Fighter. I like that movie. Immortals. I like that movie. Limitless. It was a decent movie. What was it? Out of the Furnace. I liked it. And then 21 and Over, and then he has a whole bunch of other movies out there. But the interesting thing for me is that Eddie Hearns bid $3.5 million for this fight. Top Rank ended up bidding $2.3 million for this fight. A little over. I'm just rounding it off. But then Thriller, they just blew everyone out of the water with $6 million, which you could combine Top Rank and Matchroom Boxing. That doesn't even combine what Thriller ended up bidding. I do think that Thriller might keep on bidding in boxing, but this for them it's kind of a learning curve, So it's interesting for me how Ryan Kavanaugh keeps on saying that they are not competing with Top Rank, they're not competing with The Zone, they're not competing with Matchroom Boxing or Golden Boy or anybody else out there. And I do believe it to a certain extent, but I do think that they are competing with The Zone more than what they think, simply because The Zone, so if you didn't know before anything, Thriller ended up making good money in November by staging Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. in the exhibition match. And days after, Kavanaugh said that, and longtime business partner Snoop Dogg, that's where he comes out, that, the fight was very successful and that they're going to continue with the whole MMA/boxing or boxing/MMA. They're going to continue their whole business venture into more sports when it comes to combat sports. But for me, I do think that they do compete with The Zone, simply because The Zone has had these YouTubers and these crazy people go at it, and go at each other, right? I know that they had the Jake Paul and his brother, whatever his name is. So I do think that they're going to be competing with The Zone more than anyone else. Now, what I want to concentrate here is at the simple fact that Bob Arum, for some reason, Bob Arum is extremely pissed off about the situation. And he's out there being butthurt. Bob Arum is butthurt. He ended up, I believe he said that at one point he was so pissed off that he said he's going to shove a bit up Eddie Hearns' ass or something like that, which is funny to me. But I just want to get into, before we get into that Bob Arum quote, he said, "It's terrific and wonderful that Thriller put in a bit the way that they did." Okay, which, all right. Okay, I hope it works out for them. because we made a lot of money in the 5 minutes of the whole negotiation, which is true. He made a lot of money. I believe it's $800,000. Well, he says it here. Almost $800,000 is pretty good money for me. Shit, excuse the language. That's really great because Lopez Vs Kambosos is not a premier attraction. So now we're seeing Bob Arum get personal. This is my issue. I had no issue with nothing else. So far, so good. So he said it's not a premier attraction. It is not a must-see fight like Oscar Valdez versus Miguel Bruchet. It is a fight between the guy who just beat Vasily Lomachenko, right? Against someone who is not even elite. He's talking about Kambosos. If it was Sofimo versus Ryan Garcia, the purse would have been a whole lot different. Now we see here, Bob Arum taking it personal. We see here that even though Bob Arum saying, you know what, I'm happy that they won the bid. I'm happy that they're doing okay. We won close to $800,000. He's still throwing his little jabs, right? That's what Bob Arum is known for. And then he went off the rail and said, "F off to Eddie Hearns. You can't deal with your own." He's just going crazy, and that kind of showed a reaction from Eddie Hearns when Bob Arum ended up saying, "We're going to shove a bit up his ass." And then Eddie Hearns ended up saying, F off. You can't do a deal with your own fighter. You pay the consequences. If you can't pay the fighter the money that they deserve, then you shouldn't be. So, in a way, for me, I have a problem with that simply because I do see Eddie Hearns, Matchroom Boxing, and Bob Arum, Top Rank, just not doing business with himself anymore, especially since we have, Fury versus, who. I hope you guys know who. AJ, Anthony Joshua, which I'm a huge fan of. Anthony Joshua, negotiation happening. So it's one of those things that it's a little weird for me. So I don't like where the relationship is going from Eddie Hearns and Bob Arum. Even though Bob Arum's a fossil, he's old, but he still got senses there. He's still, he's still managing. He's still doing very well. And I do think that he's one of the best promoters out there. He definitely made a lot of great fighters. So let's move on now so we know how much money Top Rank ended up putting in, which is $2.3 million. Matchroom ended up putting $3.5 million, and Thriller ended up putting $6 million, which is a lot of freaking money for this fight, by the way. So Ryan Karbunov ended up saying that, he's not competing with them. He just want to go out there. It's a whole different platform. It's a whole different model that he's using. And I do agree with him up until the Zone. The Zone and Thriller will compete with each other because the Zone has MMA. The Zone has other sports that they have, and they always put up these YouTubers out there. Now, when it comes to the fight, I see a fight that a lot of people don't see for some reason. I do see a fight where Teofimo Lopez is going to come into this fight, and I see George Kambosos getting knocked out. I won't say early, but maybe 6-7 round. I see Teo knocking him out. I don't see the fight being too competitive, and hopefully it's a mandatory fight. So hopefully Teo would just handle his business with this guy and then move on. And then before I let you guys go, I just wanted to read you guys, as I read you guys some of the quotes from Bob Arum. Let me just give you guys the quote that, for me, it caught my attention the most, which is from Eddie Hearns' response to Bob Arum. He said, Bob's been out there. Oh, Hearn. Meaning that Bob has been out there talking all this BS and all that. He says, "Oh, Hearn, I'm not going to curse. I'm effing pissed off. He bid." Meaning that he's really upset at the fact that Eddie Hearns ended up bidding for this fight. He's got to watch himself now. Which is crazy that you hear this old man, talk like that. Fuck off, says Eddie Hearn. Well, I said I was going to curse it. There I go, cursing. F off. It's an open market, says Eddie Hearn. If you can't do deal with your own fighters, right? So I'll say that again. If you can't do a deal with your own fighters, you pay the consequences, which I agree with Eddie Hearn 1,000,000,000%. I don't think this was a fight that was worth $600 million, but it is a fight. I apologize for that. Somebody's in my front door. But it is a fight that most of us want to see Teofimo Lopez get back into the ring, handle his business, and then move on. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys to the next one, and don't forget to subscribe.